Welcome to our very first immigration podcast, Your World, Our View. We would like to welcome Fion and Jonathan to our first guest.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, my name is Fionn.
My name is Jonathan, and when you put our two names together, you get
Fionnathan.
And Fionnathan, Fionnathan is a father and son team.
A son and father team.
A son and father team planning to change the world.
Yes.
Okay.
Really good.
How long have you been doing this, and do you enjoy it?
How long have we been, when did we start this Fionnathan social enterprise? Do you know how long ago it was?
No, 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years ago.
10 years ago when you finished secondary school?
That's right.
We had some inklings of an idea shortly before that. You got to be on the Saturday night show.
I did, yeah.
And you got a job with the Heritage Council going around to different schools.
Yes.
And I had been asking you, well, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
And you were giving me a different answer every time I asked. So,
That's right,
So we said, well, maybe we should just try all these things.
Yeah.
Right? Give each one a little try.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to jump too quickly into what your career is going to be in life.
Right.
And at the same time, because you were finishing school and because you have a disability, the government agents came round and said, sure, here's your options. There are these day services. You can choose one.
Right.
And once you choose, that'll be the place you'll be going to for the next 4 decades or something, right?
Yeah.
Seemed like a pretty big commitment to make.
It did, yeah.
And what did you think of the various places? Because we went and visited each of them.
That's right. That's right, yes. I only liked one of them that sounded good.
But then when you realized that it was set in an industrial estate, back where all the big semi-trucks come and go to the warehouses, you thought, what a strange place to have a hub for a group of young people who want to explore the world and figure out who they are. So ultimately, you did have an interview with the manager of one of the day services, and what questions did you ask him?
I asked him, can I learn to play my fiddle at your service? Could I learn filmmaking, and could I learn zoology?
Yeah, and he said, well, at our service, we don't do fiddle playing, we don't do filmmaking, we don't study zoology here.
Right.
And you said, well, sure, why would I sign up for your service then if you're not doing any of the things I'm interested in?
Yeah.
And so you rejected all, and when the HSE agent came round again, we said, Fionn doesn't want to sign up for one of these day services.
Right.
And he said, oh, that's fine. You can, good luck to you. Let me pack up my bag and I'll see myself out. And we said, no, hold on. The money, what about that money that you were ready to give the service in Fionn's name? Why don't you just give it directly to Fionn?
Right.
And he said, we don't do that. That's not a thing available in Ireland. And we said, well, actually, we've read some of your HSE reports, and we know that you're a little behind schedule on starting up. And here we are today, ready to take a personal budget.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen that day.
Right.
But within a year, you became the first person in Ireland with an intellectual disability to manage your own supports.
Yes.
And one of the deals was that we would have to set up a company so that the HSE could consider us a service provider for one person.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where it all began, really.
Yeah.
Really good.
That's excellent.
That was really good.
Right, so how does it feel to start a business with your personal budget?
Well, what would you say, Fionn? How does it feel?
How do you feel? Yeah, it feels good to have a personal budget.
The personal budget was the first step.
Yeah.
And we had to set up a business, as we said. But most people, because we weren't the first, you weren't the first person in Ireland to have a personal budget.
Right.
There were maybe about 36 people with physical disabilities or sensory disabilities.
Yeah.
Who already had budgets and had set up their own companies.
Yes.
But we were then the first to take that company and do other things with it.
Yeah.
Not just manage your supports. But we said, look, you've got all these great ambitions. Oh, we neglected to say who your first hire was.
Yes, I decided to hire the brilliant you.
The brilliant me, I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and because I said, your budget is kind of small, it'll only allow for a few hours a week, but I'll just work full time on this because I want to see where we can get to.
Yes.
And I know you have these ambitions, but you're going to be working just as hard as I am.
Right.
So it's not really fair that I'm the only one that's being paid.
Yeah.
So we decided then that the company would hire you.
Yeah.
And we figured out a way, partly using a government grant, that gives half the wages back when an employer hires someone with disability.
Yes.
We said, okay, we're hiring someone with disability, we'll
Yeah.
do that. And so through that, we were both employed by the company, and then we went about defining what your idea of a great life would be.
Yeah.
And then going after it.
Yes.
Right? So what were some of the things we did right away in the first couple of years?
Like, how do you mean?
What did we do during those first couple of years after you finished secondary school? We did some pretty amazing things, I think.
We did. But like teaching children across the road where I grew up about the mammals of Ireland.
Yeah, that was the very first school visit. And since then, we've visited over 90 primary schools all around the country.
Yeah.
And what else have we done? We did a lot of traveling outside of Ireland too.
We did, yes. We traveled, like, what number?
What number of countries?
Yeah.
26.
Yeah, 26 countries.
Including a few highlights, maybe?
Yeah, like the Brazilian Amazon and Malaysia and Australia.
Yeah, we've been to the Great Wall of China. We've been to the Great Barrier Reef. We've been to Iceland.
Yeah.
We've been to 3 countries in Africa.
Yeah.
We sometimes say we've been from the Amazon to Zanzibar.
Yes,
from A
that's
to
right.
Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the studies as well.
A lot of traveling as well. Like.
Yeah, it's a lot of different pillows to put your head on.
Yes, exactly.
What is it like working with family?
What is it like working with families?
I really like those. We call those family consultations.
Yes.
Right?
Is that the question? I
What
didn't.
is it like working with family?
Oh, the two of us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Because we do a lot of family consultations.
Yes.
Because we figure we've had a lot of successes. We've had a lot more failures, but you
Right.
learn as much from your failures as you do from your successes.
Yeah.
So we've tried a lot of things, and we've learned through doing, and other people who are leaving school and looking at what they want to do in the world.
Yeah.
Often have similar questions, and we figure, well, why should you have to chop down the path in the forest? We've already cleared a forest path.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
use this path for part of your journey.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why we do family consultations.
Yeah.
But if the question is, what is it like to work with family? Maybe you should answer first.
Right. Well, I don't know what role each family member does, but the really big role from family is that they support me or us doing what we want to do in life.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I think it used to be that you look at a lot of old buildings with their signs saying this is the business that was here, and it often says like McCormick and Sons. You know those signs? Yeah. Because businesses oftentimes were run by fathers and sons working together. Yeah. But there aren't many businesses like that these days.
Right.
It seems to us that most businesses, most children when they grow up, they go off and they leave the family and they say, I'll see you at Christmas time. Yeah. We're going off to Australia, or whatever it happens to be. So it's kind of different path for us to stay together, right? When you moved out of the family home, what happened? That was about 9 years ago.
Yes.
You moved because you wanted an apartment in Galway.
That's right, yeah.
But we three were living in County Clare.
Yes.
And so what happened? Did you go and live all by yourself?
No. I decided to bring you along, actually.
You brought me along, yeah, that's right.
I did,
But when we searched for the place, we told the potential landlords, we want this to be Fionn's apartment.
Yes.
His will be the only name on the lease, but I'll live there too, as Fionn's live-in support person. So it's a little funny when I'm your father, but I'm also your employee. Right. That makes things maybe a little complicated, and sometimes it causes a bit of trouble because we're not sure, okay, so in this circumstance today, should I act more as your employee or as your dad? Right?
Right, yeah.
As the careful father and son.
So, well, oftentimes we don't even worry about whether it's working in the one way or the other. We just find a relationship that works pretty well.
Yes.
And when you finished secondary school, it was important for me to recognize that you're now an adult.
Yeah.
So whereas when we even just walking down the street, it used to be that I'd walk a bit faster than you. Yeah. And I'd be a couple of steps in front of you.
Yes.
And then we had to shift that. You were comfortable with that, I was comfortable with that, but it would no longer fit the relationship we wanted to have with each other. Yes. So then you learned to walk beside me. I would walk a little slower and really let you lead much more. Yes. And I guess we've gotten pretty comfortable with that now over these 10 years. Yeah. Right? Yes. So I think it's great working with family.
Oh yes, more important actually. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. What do you love about your life?
That's a familiar question.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Fionn, how many people have you asked that very question of?
Yeah, I've interviewed over 700 people now.
That's a lot.
And in every case, you ask that question, what do you love about your life?
That's right.
Right, and what kind of people have you asked that question of?
People with Down people with Down syndrome, and also with celebrities as well.
Yeah, it started out with people with Down syndrome or other disabilities, and then I said, how about if we seek out people who are successful in the fields that you're interested in? Yeah. Because you said, maybe I'd like to be a professional musician. Yes. And I thought, why don't we interview people who are at the top of that game, who are really even famous musicians. Yeah. And you said, maybe I want to be a filmmaker, or maybe I want to be an actor in films, TV. So I said, well, let's interview people who are really good at that. Yes. And you even said, well, I'm kind of interested in politics because I want to change the world. There's too many things in society that are crummy, right? Yes. And particularly when it comes to the perspective of having a disability in the world. Yeah. Right? It's not hard. it's not bad to have a disability, but life can be really bad because of the systems we've set up.
Yeah.
So you said maybe politics. So then we interviewed people who are politicians.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So out of those 700 interviews, you said a lot of famous people.
I did. Yeah.
So how do you decide if someone's famous or not? Well, I thought if there's a Wikipedia page that's about that person, that's a level of fame that I would say, right, that person's famous.
Yes.
And when you look at the 700 that you've interviewed, there's more than 150 of them that have Wikipedia pages about them.
Yes.
In all walks of life.
Yeah.
In countries all around the world. And it's been a real eye-opener to hear people say the answer again and again. But before we go into other people's answers, the question was asked of you and of me.
That's right.
So you don't have to answer it the same way because you've answered many times before. But at this very moment, what would you say is something you love about your life?
Travel, nature, and family. Yeah.
Good answer.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What's your favourite cities?
Ask again.
What's your favourite cities? Cities like America and that?
I'm not sure.
Cities, places to go.
Places to go. Yeah.
Favorite cities, because I love travel as well.
Yeah.
That would be one of the things that I would say.
Right.
What's some of your favorite cities that you've been to? I really loved Copenhagen.
Oh yes.
We were there not too long ago.
Yeah. I really loved Reykjavik in Iceland.
Reykjavik is a wonderful place. I really loved Dar es Salaam.
Oh yeah.
That's the capital of Tanzania.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Any others on your list of favorites?
I would love to go to Brasilia, but I've not been there yet.
Yeah, we didn't spend much time in any cities in Brazil because we spent all of our time out in the rainforest.
That's right? Yeah.
We spent a little bit of time in Manaus before getting out that way.
Yes.
A place I'm looking forward to bringing you later in the year, I've been before, but you never have, is New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Or as they call it, Norlands.
Norlands. That's right, yeah.
That's a really unique place. It's got some of the vibe of Quebec, which is a place you have been.
Yes.
But much more of a southern and African feel to it.
That's right, yeah.
It's a great mix of different cultures.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear.
Wonderful. What about you? What's your favorite city to go to?
Mine is kind of like New York.
Aha.
And probably Chicago.
Lovely. Great places. Do you have favorite cities?
Mine's probably Thailand.
Yeah.
Or New York.
Cool. Yeah. Fionn's never been to Thailand, but I've spent some time in Bangkok and I really enjoyed it.
It's good over there.
Yeah. And yourself, what would you say is a favorite city for you?
Well, it's Dublin.
Yeah.
It's good.
Dublin's a great place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of our favorites as well.
Oh, yes it is, yeah.
And also London as well.
We'll be in London
That's so many favorite ones.
4 days from now. We'll be in London.
Yeah.
That's right.
We do love that. It's a great place to be.
Yeah.
What's your favourite famous people you love?
We were just talking before we started recording about Angela Lansbury. That was a really nice interview.
Yes.
It was a little nervous. It was nerve-wracking because there were about 100 people in the room.
Yes.
And they were all watching, and it included people on the floor around us, but also on the balcony above us, looking down on it.
Yeah.
And everybody was there because of Angela Lansbury.
Yes.
So when she turned her attention to you, and you have the interaction with her,
Yeah.
the whole room was just tuned into what you and she were saying to each other.
That's right. Yes, they all were.
Yeah, yeah. And so
Yeah.
Angela Lansbury, that interview was really nice.
Yes.
And right around the same time also was an American rap artist named Coolio.
Oh yeah.
And that was a really nice interview
Yes.
to do too.
Yeah.
But maybe not as impactful as the Sugar Hill Gang,
Right.
another
Yeah.
rap act from America. Because when you
Yes.
interviewed them, they said, you were talking to one of them and another came to me and said, would Fionn like to come up on stage during the show tonight? And I said, oh, I think he would. And then they played the show. We were sitting
They
there in
did,
the audience.
yeah.
The last song is their big hit. It's called Rapper's Delight.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
they brought you up on stage
Yeah.
and they gave you a microphone.
They did. Yeah.
And you didn't know a single lyric from the song, but you faked it really well.
Yeah.
Right?
and I said, ho!
That's right. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
big fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have an amazing life.
Oh, well, we really enjoy it. We do indeed.
Yes,
and
we
the,
do.
the first thing when we set up the company, we said, goal number one was what?
Help Fion Angus to have a great life.
Yeah, that's really simple. Goal number two?
To share our story like we're doing right now.
Yeah, in hopes of helping other people have a great life.
Yeah.
And goal number three?
Is removing obstacles and barriers to help people like me have great lives.
Yeah, we just said we only want to change the world. That's,
Good.
that's what we're aiming for.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
You're doing amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
It's been a real pleasure meeting you guys today.
You too.
Yeah.
The same to me as well.
Wonderful.
Fantastic, thanks.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks very
Thank
much,
you.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Good job, guys.
See you in the next episode.